A 24-year-old American soldier, Sergeant Carrol Walsh, was commanding one of those tanks. He remembers the day they came upon that train near Magdeburg, as much as he remembers anything from those endless days of fighting.
Tired? I never thought about being tired. I can't explain that. You just didn't. You just kept going. I can't explain that to you. You just kept going. You didn't feel anything much.
Do you remember seeing the train the first time?
Oh, sure. I remember coming upon the train.
What did you see?
We were coming down this dirt roadways, I remember, and I had no idea what we were approaching or where we were going or what was going on. I can remember just approaching this area, and all of a sudden, ahead of me, I saw this train. It was stopped. In my mind, I still see it, and I could see how long that train was. That long, long string of boxcars, and the engine in the front. And there were no SS guards around it at the time that we came upon it. I can remember swinging my tank to the right and proceeding alongside of the train. I didn't know what was really on that train until that tank stopped, and then I saw what the train held.
Did you see the doors of those boxcars open at that time?
Yes, I believe they were. I believe that they were open. Some of the people were out, but I still remember peering into those boxcars and seeing those people just huddled and massed together inside those boxcars.
And what did the people look like?
They were of all shapes and sizes. They looked like ragamuffins. The clothing was poor and dirty, and they didn't look very healthy.
Did you know at the time that these were prisoners or had been prisoners, or that they'd been held? But did you have any idea what they were doing there at the time?
No, I had no idea. I had no idea who they were, where they had come from, where they were going. Nothing. No idea. All I knew, here's a train with these boxcars and people jammed in those boxcars. No idea. No, I had no idea.
I'm Dick Gordon. You're listening to The Story. Steve Barry knew, as one of the young Hungarian Jews who'd been trapped on that train, that their luck had finally changed.
The Americans were totally unbelievable, because there is no other army in this world that would stop and help 2,500 lice-ridden, emaciated Jews to save them. What army would stop except the American army? I mean, this is a shooting war. I mean, these guys could have gotten shot 10 minutes later. The 30th Division stopped.
Did they have any food for you?
Whatever they had on them, and it was mostly a chocolate bar or a cracker or whatever the K ration contained, yeah, or chewing gum, they immediately gave it to us. And then later on, they arranged for food and transportation to get us out of it.
I'm Dick Gordon. You're listening to The Story. Carrol Walsh was one tired soldier when the Americans discovered the train of camp survivors, and they were still under orders to rout the remains of the Nazi soldiers, so they had a problem.
What are we going to do with these people? How can we handle this situation? Fortunately, there was as I have since learned, another attached unit with the 30th Division. They were in the area. That battalion immediately went around the neighborhood there, getting food from the local farmers and bringing it to the people. And then overnight or the next day, there were other units that arrived to assist these people and find shelter for them. That first night, they stayed around the train. There was no place for these people. And whether any food even reached them that night, I don't know.
It may be a silly question to ask, from this one moment, whether or not it stuck in your mind. But in the years after the war, did you ever think of that day when you came upon that train?
Not very much, no.
Yeah.
No, it was because it was just another day, you might say.
Yeah.
I don't mean to put that down or minimize
No, I
what was
understand
going on
I understand
with these people, but it was just another incident, another day, and on you went. No, I didn't think about it much through the years, and I didn't really think much about it until I had this interview with Matt Roselle, the history teacher in Hudson Falls, New York High School. My daughter said, "Why don't you tell him about that train?" I hadn't thought even to mention the train to Matt Roselle, and I did. And as a result of that, that's how a lot of the programs and the connections with the survivors has come about.
Carrol Walsh talks about the high school history teacher, Matt Roselle. In teaching about the Second World War, Matt invited veterans in to speak to his students. Well, that led to a website and eventually to an event, a reunion, that included both veterans and survivors. Carrol Walsh was there. It
was quite emotional. Do you know what I said when the day that of the ceremonies and the program that was conducted? They had an early morning breakfast, and that was the first that I met 3 of the survivors. And you know what I said to them?
What's that?
Long time no see.
Only 62 years or something.
Yeah, that's all. It was quite emotional.
Yeah,
now
they were
the ones that I have met were very young on the train. A couple of them were, I think, teenagers, but for the most part they were children.
But you say it was emotional. I mean, I can understand why it was emotional for them. You guys, whether you knew it or not, were the saviors and the heroes. But
well, let me stop there. No, not heroes. It all came about. It just so happened that Gross and I were the ones that our tanks were assigned to this particular scouting trip. Yes, those people look upon us as saviors. I don't know why. I don't feel like that. If you can understand my feeling, I don't. Yes, it came about because we got there. Yes, at that particular time, those SS guards took off, and it was the end of their ordeal. There's no question about that.
I mean, if you weren't the sole hero who saved them, and nobody's suggesting that's the case, you and the other tank commander, you were the symbols of their liberation.
Exactly. That's a good expression. That's a good description. Symbols. Yes, indeed. Yes. And
so if it was in a way just another day in battle for you, when you say that your reunions have been emotional, why are they emotional for you?
It's emotional for me when I think of where they were headed. They were headed to another concentration camp and extermination, and I get emotional now because I know what they went through, and what it meant to them that we happened to intercept that train at that time. They're real people. When I look back, they were almost not like real people when I first encountered them on the train, on the cars. They were just a large group, 2,500 figures.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they have names, they had lives, they had families, they have stories. I guess that's why I find it emotional.